Green apples. Hey, do you remember that time we were running in the rain together? And I asked my brother. Of course I did. It was the rainiest day of the year, he replied with a reminiscent laugh. We were walking across the field towards a green hill where an apple tree grew. It was my brother's favorite apple tree, and it bore the most amazing green apples. It was a hamper tree, and it looked majestic from where we were walking. We were still quite far away, but approached quickly with long strides. The sun was setting slowly behind us, illuminating the green hill with an ambient orange tint. It had been a clear sunny day, and it was going to be a perfectly clear night as well. After a few moments of silence, my brother asked, "Did it thunder during your run?" I thought about it for a moment and then said, "No, don't think so." We were both silent for a while longer as we continued on our way to the tree. We had still a long way to go when he said, I had sworn that it was thunder. I didn't say anything, I simply nodded. Perhaps I had other things on my mind. Maybe I thought of all the times we had walked across this field, towards the hill, in sunlight and in moonlight. To sit in the shade that the tree cast on a warm summer's day, with an apple in our hands, had been the highlight of most of our days growing up. It had been a couple of years since we were here last, but it all looked exactly the same. The hill was rather steep on the side we were approaching, and as it always did, I said, "Race it to the top." My brother usually always won, except for this one time. I was up the hill before him, panting heavily as I waited for him to take the final steps up the hill. When he caught up with me, we both grinned at each other and said nothing of it. I walked the last paces to the tree and put my hand on its bark. It felt exactly as it always had. Nothing had changed. I closed my eyes for a second and took a deep breath. It smelled exactly as it always had next to the tree. I had my brother sit down, leaning towards the tree. He took a deep breath and then said, "Fetch me an apple, will you?" I didn't say anything to him, but instead started climbing up the tree. When we were little, we had discovered that the best apples grew at the very top of the tree. And for the past 10 years, we had always climbed to the top for an apple. I was so used to the climb that it took me less than a minute to get to the top and pick 2 apples, and another minute to climb down again. I put my brother's apple on the ground next to him and sat down, leaning towards the side of the tree where the sun still shone its last rays. I ate my apple in silence and then said, "I miss this. I miss you." I looked down at what remained of my apple. Nothing but a few seeds that I had dislodged from the core. I took the seeds in my left hand and dug a small hole in front of me, in which I placed the seeds and covered them with some soil. When the seeds were completely covered, I stood up, looked towards the sun. Its very last rays blinded me as I said goodbye, and left my brother's uneaten green apple on the ground next to the tree.